Hey guys, it's GirlGotGame and welcome to the Crimson Flower that divides Lunar Coupling, a very anime sounding title. But we have arrived at a new visual novel dating sim and you can see all our lovely boys on the screen. I believe this game was originally released in 2012 and has been ported a couple of times, but this is like the latest version that's been ported to Steam, and I think they've added an epilogue as well, so I'm excited to check it out. Let me share with you guys what the story is for this new game of ours. It unfolds on a continent where the number of women has drastically decreased due to an incurable disease known as the rot. A young girl, Naala, lives in the southern country of Rus. I'm assuming that's how you say that anyway. Her mother is abducted by the northern country of Nasla, leaving her as an orphan. Her childhood friend Auri, the next king of Rus, and someone whom she adores like a brother, supported her through her hardships. Several years after that nightmarish night, Naala was welcomed into the royal family and began to feel at ease in her life as Auri's bride-to-be. However, the opening begins. No. We're not doing that. However, before I was rudely interrupted, the nightmare begins again, as a decision will have to be made in front of the Nasla army that is kidnapping women. Will Naala's future be one of subordination, or romance with one of these guys? Hoping for the latter. So, as you can see, there's quite a few guys on display here. The way this works, from what I understand, is these are the three main guys in the front. And then, as you go through their routes, some of these guys branch off of their routes. So I'm following a recommended route order for this game. With that being said, this guy, I think his name's Surin. He's going to be the first person that we're going to go for. So, yeah, and then we'll just, as we go along, you'll see what order I'm going in. I don't really remember any of their names yet. But we'll get to know them pretty soon. So with that being said, let's begin. Here's our protagonist, looking very, very cute. I'm going to keep the default name. I just read the whole synopsis with that name, so let's just keep it. Alright, and we're in it.
Hey, Mommy, aren't you sad that Daddy is under the ground?
It's alright. Daddy's spirit is always with you, so I'm not sad.
I see. When's Daddy going to wake up?
I was still too young to understand what death is. I waited for my father to wake up in front of a cold tombstone. I couldn't imagine that my father, who was stronger than anyone, had died falling off his horse while hunting. Wow. But my mother's melancholy smile was quite vexing. Okay, let's go back. Today we'll be having your favorite, lamb soup.
I want to eat together with Daddy.
Naala, if you eat a lot, maybe Daddy would happily return.
Really? Then I'll eat.
That's great, Naala.
See you later, Daddy. We're waiting, so come back soon, okay?
Oh, I wonder how young she was when she lost her dad. With my mother's hand in mine, I left the graveyard in a pleasant mood. After all, if I ate plenty of my favorite meal for dinner, then my father would return home. I looked up at the sky while humming as funny-shaped clouds passed by.
Mommy! That cloud looks like a goat!
Oh, it really does. The sound of a pleasant breeze passed by my ears as I closed my eyes in the moment. But that was interrupted suddenly by a threatening sound. Oh, please don't tell me you lost your mom right this minute.
Oh, are those guys out hunting?
The men wore strange armor and straddled strong horses. Looking carefully, there were unconscious women behind them, piled up like baggage. Ah, to think that they'd come all the way out here. With a troubled look on her face, my mother suddenly grabbed me and started running. My vision shook violently as my confused brain only became more agitated. I had no idea what was going on. I was startled as I could hear the men's voices from my mother's arms.
Hey! There's a woman over here!
We entered a dimly lit shack, and my mother spoke to me as she lowered me into a wooden box.
Naala, no matter what happens from now, you mustn't leave this box until someone from the village comes for you. Stay quiet.
Well, why?
Please, just promise me. Naala, if you keep your promise, then Daddy will most certainly come back.
Really?
Yes. Naala, you're a good girl, so you will keep the promise, won't you?
Really, I had an awful feeling about this, and I wanted to shake my head. But my mother, through her smile, looked sad. I nodded, not wanting to make her cry.
Okay, I'll stay here and be quiet.
I love you, Naala. Naala, I love you more than anything else in this world. These feelings will never change, no matter what.
She hugged me so tightly that it hurt as she whispered. I could feel a slight tremble at the end of her words. Just as I felt my unease overflowing from my chest, my mother pushed me into the box and shut the lid.
We got us a nice woman here.
Immediately, one of the men from before entered the shack. He approached without hesitation, laughing with a vulgar voice.
Let go! Let go of me!
The screams that pierced my ears surprised me. Looking through a hole in the box, I could see the man dragging my mother off by the arm.
Mommy!
I wanted to fly out towards her, but for some reason my hands and feet wouldn't move. It was like I had been bound, with only my eyes darting around. I tried to scream, but all that came out was a rough breath. I was scared, terrified. And while I was frozen with fear, my mother was loaded up like baggage and they took her away. Even when things fell silent, I still couldn't leave the box. All I could manage was a pitiful whimper.
Mommy! Mommy!
And that is the last memory I have of my mother. Sheesh, man. Starting us off, hot. Also, damn, girl. What are you wearing? Are you wearing anything? I'm so curious. This is a great room, though. Can I? Nope. There we go. Yeah, very cool room. Coward. I woke up in a terrible mood and let out a heavy sigh. Touching my face around my eyes, I could feel dampness, which made me feel even worse. Crying in one sleep, like a child. It's been 13 years since then. A new word is saved? It is. I just realized I don't know how to like access a menu or anything. That's a backlog. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Okay, going into the corner. There was like a whole user manual and everything. Do you think I looked at it? No. Why would I do such a thing? So okay, so it's not escape, it's not H, it's not tab. Alt? Nope, not alt. Could be one of the F keys. Hold on, I'm gonna do a little research and see if I can figure this out. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I did find the menu. It's F1. Phew! Okay, dictionary? Perfect. Give me some explanations. Incurable disease, the rot. A terrible disease with a high infection rate for women. Once infected, their entrails will rot, as most infected ultimately perish. As it's prevalent mainly in the north, Nasla is suffering from a serious shortage of women, I guess. and Nasla, country located in the north of the Harem continent with the Seg River as a border. I'm probably butchering all these names. It was a wealthy country due to foreign trade and an abundance of resources. It rapidly lost women due to the rot ravaging the country several decades ago. Ever since, they have been periodically invading Rus and seizing women. Their lifestyle is similar to that of their southern Rus neighbors. However, a royal capital was established about half a century ago, as most of the people have settled there. Okay. This is actually reminding me a bit of Hakuoki, a little bit. I can't remember what particularly about Hakuoki this is reminding me of, but something about that menu system is. Alright, and close. Here we go. Now back to the story. My mother was kidnapped by the country of Nasla when I was 5 years old. At the time, a disease known as the rot threatened the entire continent and caused a grave shortage of women. The rot is a terrifying disease that primarily affects women, causing their insides to waste away until they die. There's still no cure for it yet. This disease plunged everything into madness. I wonder if my mother is still alive somewhere in Nasla. A new word has been saved. Wonderful. What is it this time? The Seg River. Large river that flows along the border between Rus and Nasla. There is a flower field with the unnamed flower that spreads out along the river. Is that the cure we require, maybe? That's my theory. Nasla is a great power that governs the north across the Seg River, which divides the continent into two. For crap's sake! Yes? What else is there? Southern country Rus. With more branches from the Seg River compared to the north, the temperature differences between each season are quite extreme. It's a migrant nation state where the settlements change due to the changes in climate. However, in weariness of the Nasla invasions, they've established a royal capital in recent years as people have settled there. The area is full of grasslands. Okay. Can I... No, F1 doesn't close it again. Cool. I live here in Rus. Nasla shares the same land as Rus. They used to be the most prosperous country on the continent thanks to their rich soil. But the rot affected them far more than it did Rus, so now they have become barbarians who steal women from other countries. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Man, Naala, you have beautiful eyes. It's about time I get out of bed. I wake myself up, sluggishly. Looking out the window, I could see clear blue skies. The exact opposite of how I was feeling. And now she's ready for the day. Look at her in her getup. Oh, and that's a wrap for my morning training. I rested my sword against the wall and wiped the sweat from my face. I could protect my mother with this sword now. This sword is a keepsake from my father. I use it while taking good care of it every day. When I first got it, it was pretty heavy, but now I'm used to it. I can swing it around with one arm. This isn't a particularly feminine daily routine, though. I look towards a tub on the ground in order to wash my face. Upon seeing the reflection in the water, a sense of déjà vu grips me. Mother? It's only natural for a daughter to resemble her mother, but lately I've been hearing that I look like my mother a lot more. And looking at myself like this, I can definitely see the resemblance. But my memories of her are from my childhood, so there are some vague areas. I'm happy when people say I look like her, but that's not quite it. I take the end of my tied hair and hold it towards the sun. Shining in the sunlight, it's not quite blonde, but not white either. Most people in Rus have brown hair, so this makes me stand out. What gave me this hair color? Everything. It's all... Oh, hello, Auri. I don't think you're actually romanceable, so I guess you're gonna stay in the brother zone. Naala! What's wrong, brother? As I watch him approach, out of breath, he has a strange look on his face. Don't call me brother. That's freaking weird, girl. We're getting married. No, that's not the right thing. Dictionary is not the same as title. Auri, the newly ascended king of Rus. He is the brother-in-law and... Okay. I was like, wait, what? He is the brother-in-law and fiancé of the heroine. He has carried a flame for the heroine since they were young, but they ended up parting ways before he could tell her how he feels. Spoilers? Maybe? Okay, so he's our brother-in-law. So we have a sibling somewhere. Right? Okay, in that case, it's not so weird for her to call him brother if they're actually like brother and sister-in-law. I told you to call me Auri. Yeah. What's up, Auri? Jeez. What's up nothing? I told you that you shouldn't work for a week up to the day of the wedding.
This isn't work. It's training.
It'd be nice if you could be more aware of your role as the queen of Rus.
Sorry. I had a bad dream last night, so I wanted to work it out.
Got another new word. What do we got this time? Tingle. The former king of Rus and Auri's father. He was best friends with the heroine's father, and as such raised her following the loss of her parents. Well, that's good. Sounds like she ended up in a nice place. Also looks like she ended up in a nice place. Auri is the son of Lord Tingle, the previous king of Rus, who was best friends with my father. As such, we've known each other for a long time. And Tingle took me in and became my foster father after I lost both of my parents. He's my benefactor. Lord Tingle died from illness, but I will never forget his kindness in raising me as if I was his own child. And the will of that great benefactor was... marriage to Auri. Wonder what these options do for us off the bat. It's too early to say. Let's, be positive, I guess?
Maybe I'll see him in a different light after we get married.
I felt for a while that Lord Tingle wanted me to get married to Auri. That's why I felt like things would end up that way without him needing to say anything about it. To be honest, if you ask me if I can see Auri as my spouse moving forward, I still don't quite feel right about it. Come to think of it, your face does look pale. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I worked it out in my system.
Don't push yourself. You're responsible for giving birth to the next king, after all. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
This is Auri's go-to line recently. It makes me feel like all he wants from me is to give birth to his child, and secretly that makes me feel frustrated. Well, yeah. I was gonna give you a chance, Auri. Even knowing you're not dateable or anything, I was willing to give you a chance, and then you're just like, hey, give me a baby, girl. And I'm like, I don't know.
I do love Auri, but is this the kind of love that works for a married couple?
Becoming worried as he sees me avoiding his gaze, Auri puts his hand on my cheek. Are you really okay?
Yeah, please, don't worry about me.
I'm going to worry. I heard you went out hunting by yourself.
Oh. So, who ratted me out?
Don't underestimate my information network. I'd knock on the devil's door for my lovely bride-to-be.
You're way too overprotective of me, Auri. You know I'm...
the woman who even defeated the rot. Yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times already.
It most certainly has not been 1,000 times.
That's right. I'm the only person who has caught the rot and lived. Oh dang, okay. Is that why your hair's so special? In exchange for my life, it did rob me of my hair color. Okay, alright. Though I'm not sure that's the best way to look at it. Did you get special powers too? But I do like this color, so overall, not too bad.
Anyway, from now on, be sure to go with an attendant. Got it?
Yes, I understand, my darling husband.
Jeez.
He opens his mouth as he looks like he has more to say, but a faraway voice calls for him and he lets out a deep sigh.
Honor your husband's words, my dear bride.
Yeah. He softly pets my head, then runs back towards the castle. I let out a sigh as I watch him leave. Oh, hello, you're a cutie. Look at the two lovebirds. Oh, and you're also a cutie.
Lord Auri is always so busy.
A new word has been saved.
Let's see. Man, we're already at 21%. That's pretty cool. Solana, childhood friend of the heroine. She is the gentlest among the 3 childhood friends and often acts as the peacekeeper for her 2 hot-headed friends. Love that. And Shalu, childhood friend of the heroine. Strong-willed, she is unforgiving toward anything irrational. With this fiery personality in Nasla... ... My 2 best friends, Shalu and Solana, emerge side by side from the shadows of a pillar. Shalu is determined and animated, while Solana is quiet in nature. Though in different ways, both are beautiful. Well, we are siblings after all. You're still saying that? Lord Auri's quite the looker. You're not going to find anyone better looking. If a pretty face is all you need to get married, Shalu, you'd be married 100 times over.
Perhaps not 100, but Shalu has shot down many good-looking boys.
Hey! They just weren't my type. Is there a man who can win you over? Hey, stop focusing on me. Right now it's all about you. Me?
Yes, and that's why we've come for you.
That's why? What's going on? Come on already! Hey, wait! Shalu vigorously grabs me, and with Solana pushing from the back, I didn't have much choice in the matter, and we headed off somewhere. I guess we're off. Whoa!
Is this the wedding dress?
Hold on. It's very pretty. This is... I spotted a gorgeous dress upon entering the room. Upon approaching the side, I noticed the meaning of the sewn pattern. You've only got a month left before the wedding, and you haven't even made your bridal dress, have you? That's why me and Solana made it for you. What great friends. We made it as if we were your mother, so... I think it should stand up under scrutiny.
Yes, our feelings at least would rival that of any mother.
Normally, in Ruse, the mother of the bride makes the dress. When that's not possible, then the bride herself makes it. Even if you're not sure about the marriage, you're the type of person who honors her obligations. And if it's what Lord Tangle wanted, we figured there's no way you could go against that. Once you've made up your mind, I don't think you'll change it no matter what we say. So, the least we could do is give you spiritual support, which we hope is this dress.
We are always linked together through our feelings. If you are feeling down, if you could look at this dress and remember that.
Shalu. Solana. Thank you. I'm so happy I can barely speak. Looking through teary eyes, I see Shalu's eyes are also red. You dummy. Save the tears for the ceremony.
If you don't, Shalu's gonna cry too.
I'm not crying! Cut me some slack, Solana. Truly, thank you both. As I hugged the both of them, my heart filled with gratitude and I felt my doubts flying away. Oh, what great friends. Well then, I'd better get started on the garland. With my doubts cleared away, I decided to roll up my sleeves and get to work making the garland. I tied the dried petals together with hemp rope, making the basic shape. So then, what's next? As I thought about it while looking at the bridal dress, my friends' faces came to mind. Even though we just parted, I wanted to see them again. I looked down at the town from the castle window. Huh? That's... The edge of the town had turned an unnatural red. As my heart began to flutter as I squinted ahead...
The Nasla army is attacking!
Ah! Hearing the scream, my heart froze. No way! Not again! I felt woozy, like my feet would give out under me at any moment. And just as it felt like I might fall over, I suddenly realized... Solana! Shalu! My body moved before I could think, as I grabbed the bow and sword from the wall. They live in that area. If I don't hurry, they'll be the first to be taken.
Naala, where are you going?
I have to go save Shalu and Solana!
Forget about it. The Nasla army is already pushing forward against our protective wall. You get out of here with the other women.
Forget about it? Why wasn't there a report from the border guards in the first place? I didn't give up my old life for this.
Some of the border guards were bought out by Nasla.
What?
Anyway, the first thing we have to do is ensure that women who are safe now can get away.
And abandon the ones who have already been caught, huh?
We're at a disadvantage right now. I hate to admit it, but as someone who will be the king, it is my duty to take the steps to minimize the damage as much as possible.
Fine, then I'll go. Even if we're not related by blood, I'm the daughter of the previous King Lord Tengal. It's my duty to protect the people.
You're the woman who will become my wife!
Auri, I'm sure you will find a much better bride than me. But for me, my friends are irreplaceable.
What are you saying?
Your Majesty, the Western Guard!
As Auri was distracted by the soldier's report, I took that chance to run off quickly.
Wait, Naala! You're not replaceable!
Auri's Auri's yell was drowned out by the tumult, and I couldn't fully hear what he said.
You're not replaceable to me!
Please, be safe! While praying, I ran with everything I had to the residential area. But as I began to see their neighborhood in the distance, I realized that prayer was useless. No way! The area had already been attacked by the Nasla army, and now the main forces had left in search of a new prey: women. The smell of a battlefield wafted up from the ruthlessly burned homes and destroyed walls. Just like the scene that had been so peaceful up until now, I felt intense anger welling up. Shalu! Solana! Oh yeah, it's not looking good. I'm a Farron. I can speak, I swear. Fearing the worst, I looked into their houses, but as expected, they weren't there. My heart was pounding. I could feel it as if it were in my ears. I looked around, suppressing my urge to vomit. That's when... Ah! That voice... Shalu? A voice I'd heard before penetrated my ears. I looked up in a heartbeat and ran towards the direction of the scream. No! Stay back! It seems the two are in the middle of running away. Shalu had the frightened Solana behind her and was holding her dagger forward. In front of her, of course, was a man from Nasla. He paid no heed to her threat, advancing towards her with a disgusting grin on his face. Just as he was about to grab Shalu with those disgusting hands of his. Don't touch her! I quickly drew my bow and shot an arrow at him. It flew straight and pierced the man's hand in an instant. Gah! Ha! I continued to shoot him in the legs and arms while he was reeling in pain. Shalu! Solana! Come here! Why do the women of Rus have to be subjected to such a nightmare? I found myself already gripped with an unconscious urge to kill. But I can't let myself get swept up in emotion. I could have killed him, but the words left behind by the late Lord Tengal, "Don't kill people. If you do, there will be no end to the cycle of hatred," stayed my hand. Okay, I was wondering, I'm like, Are you trying to make this guy suffer, or are you, like, deliberately trying not to kill him for a reason? There's a reason.
Naala, you idiot! Why are you here, Naala?
Her face had a look that was both relief and blame towards me at the same time. I gave her a dry smile, took their hands, and moved on to the next step. We had to retreat to the castle as soon as possible.
There's women here!
Just as I had a bad feeling, several Nasla men appeared before us. Shalu, Solana, you guys escaped to the castle.
There's no way we're leaving you behind!
Have you forgotten? I was trained in the sword arts directly by Lord Tangle. I can handle these Nasla guys. I can't afford to be timid right now. To be honest, I'm scared too. I'm confident in my sword skills, but as a woman, these men can still overpower me. The thought of being pinned down by these men overpowered me, and my body seemed like it was going to tremble. But I couldn't bear the thought of my friends meeting that fate. I can't let what happened to my mother happen to them. I suppressed the urge to cry through willpower, and smiled to show them that I got this.
But...
Go! I can't fight while protecting you! This is the only way to ensure all of our safety.
Shalu, I know how you feel, but Naala is right. If we're taken hostage, it will only be a burden to Naala.
Please, Shalu.
Okay, fine. But you better be right behind us. Promise!
Yes, I promise. I watched them leave, then turned to the men.
Ha ha! This girlie's gonna take us all on by herself!
The men laugh, underestimating me. I respond with a cool gaze and pull the sword from my back. Silently, I take my stance and charge at them before they can change their opinion of me. Oh man, we're even getting like the Hakuoki sword cut-ins. Yeah! Good! Oh, it's been too long since I've had those.
Huh. Gah!
That's one. With a dull scream, the first one falls to the ground. The next man quickly tries to raise his arms, but he's too late. I planted my left foot into the ground and kicked him squarely in the chin with my right leg with every bit of power I could muster.
Gah! This woman!
The last man charged at me. I dodged and slammed the handle of my sword into the side of his stomach.
Gah!
It's been a while since I've had to fight seriously. It's tiring. Anyway, I'd better get going too. I could handle 3 of them, but any more would be troublesome. Damn, girl, you're awesome. I wiped the sweat from my forehead and turned around to escape. However...
There! Look, there's a woman!
Other Nasla soldiers, hearing the commotion, began to gather. Before I knew it, a few men had turned into a platoon. A platoon? Sheesh. This is bad. But if I fall back, my friends will get caught. I have to buy time so they can escape. I gathered strength in my arms and legs, which felt like they would start trembling, and took a deep breath. I tightened my grasp on my sword and made up my mind. I'd rather be taken advantage of than live with the regret of not protecting those who are precious to me. Given that I'd injured those Nasla soldiers, I could be killed. Despite that, I didn't feel a hint of wanting to retreat. I glared at the men standing before me with determination, and they recoiled slightly. Maybe it's rare for a woman who has been pushed to this point to resist as I have. What's wrong? Are the barbarians who attack under the cover of night scared of a petite woman?
Damn, she's getting full of herself. I'll fill you up with something else, right here and now.
Come and try it, if you can. Provoking them in a loud voice, I prayed that this would confuse them. However... Contrary to what you'd expect, everything suddenly became quiet. Accompanying the silence, the looks on the soldiers' faces became increasingly nervous. Oh, we met the first of the new boys.
You'll do what? Who said that just now? But...
The crowd parted in the center, and a man emerged from the other side. He walked calmly, without excess. His presence alone was overwhelming. His rough red hair danced in the wind like a flame.
I believe I said to be courteous with the women. If your head can't keep my orders in it, then perhaps you don't need it.
He pointed his blade at the man and squinted his slitted eyes. In another time and place, he had a beauty to him that might make one fall in love with him in an instant. I'm not saying that's happening to me. I'm just saying it could happen to someone else in another time and place. Him. Is he their commander? While keeping his guard up, the man with the red hair turned to me, and with a wry smile, spoke as if the last few minutes hadn't happened.
I apologize for the rough treatment you've seen from my soldiers. If you please, would you put your sword away?
So you can kidnap me in peace? What woman would go along with that?
I don't imagine there are any. However, I don't wish for you to resist any further. If possible, I'd like for you to survive this encounter.
Okay, what are we gonna do with this guy? You gotta be kidding. I'm not interested in going away quietly. You might look like a gentleman, but are you making fun of me? What are you getting at? I don't have enough of a read on this guy. I almost get the feeling like the top one would maybe be something he would go for. So maybe I'll do one of the other two. Let's do the middle one, maybe. You might look like a gentleman, but are you making fun of me?
I am not making fun of you. I'm asking because you are courageous, and I don't want to lose you.
Maybe you're not asking out of some warped sense of civility. Maybe you're just afraid you can't beat me. We faced each other silently, each confirming our unwavering wills.
I see. It seems that our battle goddess will not understand without a show of strength. In that case...
The reflection of the flames danced and his sword pointed at me. I felt a terrible power coming from the blade dyed in red. His narrowed red eyes suddenly became dangerous as trembles ran throughout my body. I've got a bad feeling about this. I feel like the outcome has already been decided.
I'll use this sword to have you understand my feelings.
Here we go. He moved at me at a blistering speed, as if he wasn't wearing armor. I held my sword reflexively, but I knew it would not be of much use. He's got me! As I'd feared, my sword was sent flying with a heavy blow. The sword spun through the air, piercing the rubble. I'd only ever lost to Auri! Which means that this guy was on a level equal to that of Auri, who is our country's greatest swordsman. Or maybe even... he was better. With no other options, I reached for the dagger at my waist.
My apologies.
Gah! Just as I felt a sharp pain in my stomach, my consciousness quickly slipped away. Well, he got her. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. And that's how we got kidnapped, I guess.
That's enough. We have the women we came for. Retreat!
Yes, sir!
This was the beginning of what would be a very long nightmare. A night when the gears of fate began to turn in the wrong direction. Or right, depending on your point of view. And now we get the opening. Well, that was a very exciting introduction, I must say. I'm in it. They got me. I really like our protagonist so far. I love that she can use a bow and arrow and a sword, and seems pretty good at it so far. I'm hoping it's not a it's not the same situation as it was with our girl in Hakuoki, where you never see her use the sword again, basically. But we'll see. Alright, we're getting our introduction to all the boys, including the guy we're doing the first route of. Spoiler for Kiss already. My goodness. Alright. I don't really know who I'm the most interested in yet, either, just from the looks. But we'll get to know all these guys soon enough. And then we'll figure it out. Ooh, that's very pretty. Alright, the crimson flower that divides lunar coupling. It's a beautiful intro. Prologue, the one who chooses. So what did we just do? That wasn't the prologue. Or are you telling me the prologue is over? Please tell me that the prologue's over. Not that I'm entering the prologue. Oh no. Okay. Well, guys, I think that is where we're going to end for today. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Crimson Flower that divides lunar coupling. I'm definitely intrigued. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now that our girl's been kidnapped to the other half of this country. And just learning more about how she survived the rot. The rot. And yeah, get to know these guys very, very soon. Hopefully we'll meet our boy next episode. But yeah, thanks again for joining me. Until next time, I will see you later.